All right. Hey there. Dr. Ron Wuest here. And today we're going to be talking about how owning assets can make you rich or poor. So, in today's video, it's important to start off with some general statistics. Physicians around the world, especially in the United States, are leaving medicine early. Many are living paycheck to paycheck. More than 54% consider themselves burned out. And in today's video, I'm going to show you why physicians are burned out, how you can avoid getting burnt out, what the secret to directing your financial life is understanding financial words, and understanding the definition of assets is really key to having a great life. By the end of this video, you'll understand what to do, either to get out of the medicine hamster wheel, what to do to start yourself on a great path so you can serve patients better and make a difference in their lives, and finally, how you can regain the joy of medicine. Hi, for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Dr. Ron Wuest. I'm a retired psychiatrist, 33 years, and I'm dedicating the next part of my career to helping early and mid-career physicians find financial freedom and emotional well-being in a trustworthy and sensible way in less than 10 minutes per day. Medical school never taught us how to take care of ourselves, and that's what these videos are going to be about. So in previous videos, you've learned if you're just starting out, you've got to keep your expenses low. The fatal flaw I see of early career physicians is they finish their residency or fellowship, and then they finally get their job as an attending, and then they buy that big house. And I'm not saying don't buy a big house. I'm saying don't do it right now. That's going to keep you house poor, and you've got to follow the 50-30-20 rule. If you don't know this rule, you can refer to it in previous videos that I've done. What will happen, though, is you'll buy that bigger house, you'll start to experience lifestyle creep. So you're going to need to work more to make more. Then all of a sudden, the hamster wheel starts. You're frustrated. You don't have time for yourself. You don't have time for your family, your friends. You're not taking care of your physical health, like I've talked to you about that I neglected at times in my life in a significant way. And you'll be working after work. Just take care of the administrative burdens of charting. So go back, look at some of those videos, and that will help catch you up into where we are today. So let's start off. In today's video, I wanted to talk about assets. A mentor of mine, Robert Kiyosaki, who I've been following for 25 years, he used the term asset in a very specific way. So I'm not going to use it that way right now. But an asset is an item of value, at least when we're talking about something you buy. There are lots of other assets like skills and intelligence and health, but we're not talking about that kind of asset right now. We're talking about things that you buy. So let's break these into three different categories. So the first talks about capital appreciation. Capital appreciation basically says, does that asset go up in value or does it go down in value? So things that tend, notice I say tend, to go up in value are land, gold, silver, rare art, and real estate. Now, all assets have cycles where they vary. And so you obviously don't want to sell when your asset goes down in value. You only want to sell something for an appreciating asset when it cycles to a higher price than you purchased it for. Now, depreciating assets tend to be things like cars, clothes, furniture, appliances, these tend to go down in value. They become less valuable over time. So that's one category of assets, the capital appreciating assets or capital depreciating assets. Category two are what Robert Kiyosaki really considered an asset. Is it cash flowing or cash draining asset? So a cash flowing asset, which is what Robert Kiyosaki really defined as an asset, are things like businesses and real estate. These things tend to, if run well, generate cash flow every month. And Robert Kiyosaki really defined an asset as something that puts money in your pocket every month, or something that puts money in your pocket every month while you're sleeping. A cash draining asset would be things like cars or personal residence, um, where you have to pay for insurance, you have to pay for the car payment, you have to, um, well, mostly insurance and the car payment. Or a personal residence, you have to pay property taxes, you have to pay for insurance, you have to pay for the mortgage. That's taking money out of your pocket. And then, so the second category is it cash flowing or cash draining? And then the third category to look at, is it tax advantaged or non-tax advantaged? So tax advantages assets tend to help you lower your tax payment to the government because the government states it in the law. If you do this, you can pay less in taxes. You've obviously got to talk to your accountant about this. But tax advantage assets can be things like rental real estate, alternative energy, oil and gas. Non-tax advantage assets are many. If it's not tax advantage, it's a non-tax advantage asset. So there are really three things to consider when you buy assets. So let's say, for example, we talked about Robert Kiyosaki, who many of you know from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And he said your home isn't an asset, which caused all kind of controversy because your home, if it has value, is technically considered an asset. But he only considered things assets when they were cash flowing every month. That's what Kiyosaki called a true asset, or I'd call it a Kiyosaki asset. Now, it isn't actually the type of asset that you're buying that determines whether it's a cash flowing asset or a cash draining asset, whether it's tax advantaged or non-tax advantaged, or whether it's appreciating or depreciating as an asset. It's how the investor manages that particular asset. So if you buy a home and you rent out the basement and fix it up nicely, it might be a cash flowing asset. And there could be some tax advantage benefits of that. You'd have to talk to your accountant, obviously. And that fixing up the basement could appreciate the value of the property. So it's what you do as an investor that determines whether the property is appreciating, depreciating, whether it's tax advantage, non-tax advantage, whether it's cash flowing or cash draining. Ultimately, you want to consider at least those three things when you're managing your asset. Can you cash flow it? Can you manage it so it's appreciating? Can you utilize that asset in a way that becomes tax advantage? And then this all comes through knowledge and then executing on that knowledge, which is up to you to do. So obviously, increasing your educational base is critical to doing this. So obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, um, but I do play one on YouTube. Um, so talk to people that you trust, like your accountant, other people in real estate who can really guide you. And then ultimately, it comes down to personal responsibility. You are the one making the decision, you're the one taking the advice, and it's your personal responsibility to make sure it's good advice for you. So please, if you like this video, uh, subscribe, hit the like button, give me a thumbs up. If there are other topics, I'm getting all sorts of different topics people would like to hear about. Share this with 5 colleagues so that I can continue to grow this channel and provide great content for you. And that's all I got for today. And you have a fantastic day.